And so like realizing like now I'm an adult, and now I can make choices. Like I always said to my mom too, like recently, like I as a kid, like it made me sad that like I as a kid doesn't know to walk away. A kid doesn't, you can't just, oh, I'm gonna go live by myself, or like I'm uncomfortable in this room, or people are doing toxic things, or I feel unsafe, or this person whatever triggered me. Like you don't really know to like form your own identity, or to like leave, or to like like create your own space. Like you don't really understand that as a kid. And so now as an adult, like realizing that power, and realizing also, like I feel like that also communicates things to people. Like I feel like when you're selective about what you come to, or like you're you don't play around about like where your presence, or like people doing things, or the fact that people are like not respecting your perspective, or respecting your grievances, or whatever you bring up, and the things that you stated that you have problems with, like that's important. And I feel like when you don't go around, when you are like to yourself, like people, I think people do respect you more, and people do notice that. And so yeah, I think there definitely is like a freedom that like is part of like the queer experience, that I think like in leaving, in creating distance, and like figuring out who you are in your own terms, and like creating your own space to like really find yourself. Because when you're around people, like I said, like people define you, and people coming from a culture where like people don't understand queerness, they don't understand the things that I was navigating, and how I felt, my feelings, like all these things. Like I think I did need to create my own context of my own space, so that I could like really zero in on what I was feeling, and like not have to internalize, or also like consider, be like affected by like what other people were thinking. Because I feel like I always say, like that's what other people are feeling is really their thing to deal with. um like a big thing that I felt from that too, with like what I felt like God was telling me, was like I think that like part of like this question of like why I wasn't unhappy in life, like I said, like it came from like my upbringing, it came from like these things people were doing. And I think a constant thing that I people told me in my life, like elders and family, and like now was kind of like, I don't know, I also was like coming to this, because of this point of like dealing with my being happy, and like thinking about why my challenges, and that like I was starting to like understand it too. But like I do feel like I ruminate a lot sometimes. I do feel like I was like, I get stuck on things, and like I don't want to be this unhappy person, right? Like I didn't want to be like this person who was just always like, woe is me, or like like I just angry all the time, and bitter, and just like, but I felt like part of that was like, I mean, I had to process it, and I had to express it, and I had to like tell people. Like I think I did have a responsibility to like tell them like the things that I felt like I didn't sit right with me. um but it was also like like that was keeping me, it was keeping me in like this past, right, where like the past where these things happened. And like going on the conversation, like being happy now, and like being happy in life, like I feel like something like I needed to like not do that. But I feel like environments and people that you were around when you were a child, like they have that power to keep you there, they have that power to keep you in the past. And I realized I had to like have that realization that like, yes, being around those people, being in those environments where I grew up, even the neighborhood that I grew up, the home, whatever, like that was keeping me in that angry place of like that kid that those things happened to. And like not being there, like that allows me to like not be stuck in the past. Because the thing is too, like being around those people, like a lot of times those things come up, they still hold you to those standards, they still see you as that person that you were when like you were a child, or when things were happening to you, even if they didn't know or whatever. But like they still see you like as that person. And so like it's confining. And like like I didn't want to be like, I don't want to be resigned to my past, I don't want to be relegated to my past, and like for myself and for my happiness. And so like I don't, why would I put myself around the people who make me go back? Because those people are going to continue to do the same things they were doing. A lot of times the people, elders especially, they're going to continue doing the same things, seeing you the same ways that like were like making you feel indignant, making you feel infuriated, making you feel just like like you were devalued and denigrated. Like, they're going to continue doing those things, because like sometimes people don't change, or they don't want to, they're not willing, or I don't know. It's just, I think there's also just, it's a hard world, and like there's dimensions. It's kind of like the Matrix, and people, I think once they get to a certain age, like they can't always see, or they don't always understand. Um, but yeah, like for me, for my interest, for me to like not be stuck in the past, and not be that person who's constantly stuck in trying to defend myself and trying to like, um, yeah, like kind of like not get like basically get justice for myself, or like um pursue like redress, or like kind of like I don't know why I'm struggling, but like basically like speak up for myself, or like I don't know, like reconcile, like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like it's like for me to not feel like I have to be that person that has to speak up and has to challenge and has to do all these things, because I still feel like that child that like was stuck there and like didn't have a choice, and like there's nothing you can do as a child when you're like things are happening to you that shouldn't be happening to you. And so like um for me to not be that person and to like move on with my life, I think it also required for me to leave. And like I'm like, I don't know, like I don't know if I'll move to another state, I don't know. um but I do feel like I deserve that chance. And like yeah, like I always tell my mom too, like I feel like life is meant, there's so much variety in life, there's so much like just different experiences, and like there's so many, like the world is so vast, and like even if you just look at it as traveling, but like just there's so much opportunity, there's so many people in the world to meet, and there's so many like things to do. And like, but yeah, like I just feel like there's no, like I'm undermining myself by like leaving my, like staying somewhere where I like feel like and even when I was young, like I was thinking, like as I was reflecting on like this podcast, like I was like, I feel like from a very young age, and I don't know if it's something about being queer, but like I always had that mentality that like I don't need, it's not something that I need someone to give me. Like I will create the life that is like where I'm thriving and where I'm fine and where everything worked out, whether it was like just me and my partner or like whatever. Like I've always had the mentality that like this isn't gonna be like like the final thing. Like I was always gonna make it happen for myself. And whether people accept me or not, like that did not matter. Like like I just always, it was always like I'm gonna be successful, like um and I was gonna get away from whatever, if I like, if it wasn't a good environment. And so yeah, but I thought, like, honest, I felt like it was like really important for me that like God was telling me like what he was telling me about like being happy, and that, but also like that he made the distinction that like it was practical. Like it wasn't, because I grew up hearing the toxic positivity stuff, and like it just was, I always hated it, because I was just like, all right, well, be positive, this and that, like growth mindset and all these things. But like I felt like, where was the like acknowledgement of like my real circumstances, my real trauma, my real being gay and the challenges that came with that, and like feeling estranged in my culture and in my family. Like I was like, where is the acknowledgement of like the things that I've been through that have affected me, like have affected my being, my body, like that are challenging me, that the brain, that like your psychology is affected by like your the things that you go through in life. So like it was like there, it felt like there was no acknowledgement of those things, and like how those things were affected, and like the be positive thing. So like for him to make the distinction was like really important to me. And yeah, I also just felt like he heard me, and like it felt like he was like encouraging me through that. Like he was saying that he was proud, and that I should be proud of myself for learning and for going through that, and like the difficulty of it, because like it was, like I said, it was really hard to like isolate myself basically. But I felt like it was a worthy sacrifice, because I feel like it created this foundation for me where like now I'm even like when I post grad, like I'm still gonna navigate in certain ways. I'm still gonna like if I want to be close to my like immediate family only, if I want to just be close to my parents and my sisters or something, or whatever, like how, whatever, it is, like if I just have to prioritize just my parents, like I'll do that. Like if I don't want to go to anything for family wise, like I won't. If I don't, with friends, like even like if something, like if people are being weird, like I just don't have to talk to you. Like I just feel like it's like I created that precedent for myself, and like in doing that, and taking those actions, like I was showing myself like that I do believe in my worth, and I do deserve better, and I'm not gonna tolerate whatever. I'm not gonna be compulsive to like the cycles that, you know, I was in my life because of like things growing up. Like I'm not just gonna be complicit with like the bullshit in my life, because I feel like that's another thing that I've like talked about in the last episode too, is like about being an adult, is that like we're here, like we're actually present, like we've come into like our physicality here, like we're no longer kids that just have to go along with whatever everybody else is saying, or whatever the status quo, whatever the program, whatever you want to call it. Like we don't have to go along with anything. I make choices, I choose, I every single day I choose, every single interaction I choose, every single business, like job, every single degree that I pursue, every single like every endeavor that I like have in my life, I get to choose, like at all times, like is this undermining, like do I feel like this is undermining me? Because if it is, the answer is yes, then like no, I don't need to be doing that. And I just feel like it's really like you really have to become more adept at like seeing it, like seeing when like those moments come up, like because sometimes it could be hard. Like I think when you were conditioned to, you know, in trauma and in all these things, like sometimes you don't see it, sometimes it's you know, it's harder to discern, it's harder to like tell, and people will always try to coerce you or try to manipulate you, and you really have to get good. And like I think it also starts with loving yourself, and like, you know, in prioritizing yourself, that's another thing that you're doing, you're like loving yourself. Because I think also relationships can be hard. Like when you're in a relationship, you don't have time to tend to yourself, you don't have time to like figure out and take inventory of like how you feel, and like you don't have time to feel those things and like hold those things when you're in a relationship. So I think like sometimes it's not even about the people, but it's just about I need to have me. I need to make sure like I can amplify what I'm feeling, because like when I'm around other people, like I can't. It's harder to hear my own thoughts, and in a way that's not like, you know, infiltrated by like other people and what they think and what they have going on and whatever. So like I just think like it's just really important to like really get better at that skill. And because like there's just so many ways that it plays out, whether it's a romantic relationship or friendships or like just things that you tolerate, just how people like speak to you, how the expectations that people have of you. And I really feel like when you start to move in a different way and you like start to show people like, no, I don't like that, or just like me, because me, I'm a very like, sometimes I just, even with family, like I let people say certain things or I let people do certain things, and like I feel like when I like there's times where like now I'll say something, I won't respond to a message, like and people will be like, why are you not responding? Or like I'll tell people that I'm mad at them, or I'll tell them that they made me feel a certain way, and like I feel like before I was kind of just laughing all the time, or just like, you know, like trying to like make things less awkward, or like I just would always text people and would always just keep the communication line, and just keep things, you know, business as usual. But like now I'm like, no, like I can, and I will when I'm not feeling something, I'm not feeling it, and you're gonna know that I'm not feeling it, because I'm not a kid anymore. I'm about to be 25. Like I'm still young, but I'm not like, if I don't like something, you're gonna know I don't like it. Because I think a lot of times too, even when I was younger, like people felt like they could police me and tell me how to respond to things, tell me who to like, tell me who to interact with, tell me, you know, where I was supposed to be and whatever. And it's like I'm teaching people now that like, no, that's not what it's gonna be anymore. And yeah, like it's very, 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 very important to be locked into like yourself, be locked into yourself, and be locked into like your, you know, how you feel. Because like nobody else can like gaslight you, nobody else can try to, you know, you won't find yourself in those situations where it's like it hits you at some point. Like even this degree, I'm like, I'm suffering, this is a type of suffering, and like I don't, in a way it feels like I consented, like yes, it's a degree, yes, I spent money, yes, at some point it has to be like a return on investment. But like first semester, like I could have left, and like I don't care. Like some things are like, you know, it's not worth it. The benefits don't outweigh the harms. And like when something is harming me, that's always going to be the first priority. Like, because no one deserves me, no one deserves all of me. Like you don't know what the fuck I've been through. But I'm going on and on. You guys get the point. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys keep tuning in. Yeah, I'm still learning how I feel about camera, but yeah.